Hey guys, welcome to The Sports Entertainer. We have a ton of major wrestling news to share with you guys today, but before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you never miss out on an episode. LA Knight may be on his way out of WWE in the near future, with the shocking backstage rumors going around right now that indicate that LA Knight has garnered some backstage heat in WWE for expressing his frustrations and concerns over his future in the company on Friday Night SmackDown, and clearly Triple H and other management in WWE will have to make a decision. Will they choose to push LA Knight and give the megastar what he desires, or will the WWE watch one of their most popular stars on the entire roster walk away from WWE next year in 2024? Now, to say that LA Knight has been a breakout star in WWE this year would be a massive understatement. LA Knight started off the year floundering in the mid-card and was really only going to be utilized to put over the late Bray Wyatt in their storyline together, but LA Knight's talent and abilities shined despite his horrendous booking, and Knight quickly got over with wrestling fans to a very large degree. LA Knight was reminiscent of stars from the Attitude Era like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, with some fans feeling as though Knight was a combination of The Rock and Steve Austin, a combo that we shouldn't be surprised got over to the degree LA Knight did. At the beginning, WWE had no plans whatsoever of pushing LA Knight past mid-card status, but the WWE Universe continued getting behind Knight to the point that Triple H and Vince McMahon had no choice but to give in and push Knight up the card. LA Knight would get the World Championship match he always wanted in WWE when he was booked to face off against Roman Reigns for the undisputed title at Crown Jewel 2023 this past November, but in expected fashion, Roman Reigns retained his title through his usual tactics, and LA Knight was very upset about this booking, and the way WWE have went about things ever since. LA Knight feels as though he should be positioned as the top star on SmackDown, and should be the one to eventually take down Roman Reigns for that undisputed championship. Not Cody Rhodes, not Randy Orton. Here's some backstage exclusive details that one of our sources reported on Knight's frustrations. Quote, "By no means did LA Knight expect to dethrone Roman Reigns of the undisputed title at Crown Jewel, but Knight felt like his performance against Reigns that night should have convinced Triple H, Vince McMahon, and other backstage officials that he was ready for his career to be taken to the next level, to basically be, the next face of the company on SmackDown. LA Knight feels his merchandise sales over the past several months should have been reason enough that he should be booked as the top guy in WWE after Roman Reigns, but that his actual match against Reigns at Crown Jewel should have gotten rid of any doubt backstage that he can fully handle the responsibilities of being the top guy. We were also told that LA Knight feels WWE have leaned on him considerably over the past couple of months to carry SmackDown while Roman Reigns is away due to his part-time status with the company, and Knight is very frustrated that WWE appear to be moving on from him in the main event scene on SmackDown, just because the likes of Randy Orton have returned. Knight's worried that his push in WWE is going to be cooling off now that the focus has been shifted towards Roman Reigns and Randy Orton, and the sentiment is that LA Knight is not having any of this. So it's clear that LA Knight isn't happy that WWE are beginning to move away from him in the top storylines on SmackDown, with Randy Orton setting his sights on Roman Reigns and the Undisputed Championship, and Knight is also aware that Cody Rhodes is waiting in the wings as the guy who will likely go after Reigns for WrestleMania 40. LA Knight's frustrations in WWE have actually been showcased at a few live events recently, as well as on television, where Knight continues to assure fans that he's not done with Roman Reigns and has unfinished business with him. Backstage rumors suggest this is very much how Knight feels behind the scenes, and refuses to be cast aside and forgotten about by WWE. LA Knight feels he carried WWE in 2023 and deserves to be rewarded for all of his hard work. Otherwise, he'd rather leave WWE while he still has some star power left, and be booked like a top guy in another promotion. This is what one source had to say regarding the rumored backstage meeting that LA Knight had with Triple H, where Knight basically said, "Hey, if I don't get the push I want, then I'm gonna walk." Quote. So what we've heard is that LA Knight basically had a backstage meeting recently with the likes of Triple H and Vince McMahon, and Knight didn't sugarcoat anything, which is something that Knight's known for behind the scenes, which has resulted in LA Knight getting some backstage heat among talent in the past. But LA Knight essentially told Triple H and other management that he feels he has earned the right or privilege to be a part of the Undisputed Championship storyline heading into 2024, and should be the one to end Roman's title run. If that means including him in the WrestleMania 40 main event with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, so be it. but LA Knight made it clear that he is not going to be settling for a mid-card storyline come WrestleMania, such as feuding with Logan Paul for the United States Championship, which has been rumored. LA Knight said that he's in his prime right now and has no time to waste in filler stories before he gets his big break. LA Knight said the time is now for his world title run, and he will choose not to re-sign with WWE if the company exclude him from the top storyline with Reigns and the undisputed title. We're told that Triple H was stunned by how open and blunt LA Knight was in demanding his spot on the card heading into next year, and now Triple H and other high-ranking WWE executives will have to think about this, and if they do give in to LA Knight's demands, how they will be able to include Knight into their plans for WrestleMania 40 that obviously didn't involve Knight in the undisputed title scene. The consensus is that Triple H doesn't want to lose LA Knight because he's one of the most popular stars in the company right now and is a top merchandise seller, but he didn't plan for Knight to be getting pushed in the main event scene past that crown jewel title match against Reigns, so it's a bit of a tough situation right now that WWE are faced with LA Knight. Now, this really shouldn't come as a shock if these reports are true that LA Knight is demanding to get his world title run in WWE and not to be demoted down the card, because back in September, there were reports going around that LA Knight and WWE were apparently far apart on money when it came to WWE negotiating a new contract with LA Knight, and that up to this point, Knight had only signed a contract extension with WWE and not an entirely new deal because of the issues with the company over money. The consensus is that LA Knight's current deal with WWE is set to expire either in late 2024 or early 2025, and if Triple H and Vince McMahon don't agree to continue Knight's push on SmackDown, where he will continue to set his sights on Roman Reigns and the Undisputed Championship for WrestleMania 40, LA Knight may very well ask for his release, and if that's not granted, Knight could simply decide not to sign any new deal with WWE and leave the company when his current contract expires later on in the year. Obviously, this is a pretty concerning situation regarding LA Knight's future in WWE, but we've got to give Knight credit for knowing his value and demanding that he gets the opportunity he feels he deserves on SmackDown if these backstage reports are in fact true, and let us know down in the comments section below. Do you guys think LA Knight is justified for feeling like the time is now for his push and world title run, and that he cannot afford to wait around while other superstars like Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes steal his spot with Roman Reigns, perhaps even AJ Styles, who also recently returned, as LA Knight's 41 and won't be in his prime for too much longer? Or do you feel like LA Knight should accept the fact that his main event push is over, and that he might not win a world title in WWE, and that Knight should be happy to eventually feud with Logan Paul for the United States Championship come WrestleMania? Well guys, that's it for today's major wrestling news. Make sure you leave a like and comment, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you'll never miss out on an episode. Finally, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter at TSE Wrestling, and we will see you guys in the next video.